In our latest episode, the chateau becomes overrun by some furry feline friends, which means lots of licks and cuddles. Yet we somehow managed to get some DIY done with the help of Nicole's sister, Josephine. Hi, I'm Nick. Originally from England, I spent the vast majority of my life living and working in London.
And I'm Nicole, originally from Sweden. I moved to London in 2011 where I met Nick. We fell in love and got married in the south of France in 2016. We took the bold decision to follow our dreams and bought an abandoned chateau in the Dordogne in 2021 and moved to France full-time in the autumn of 2022.
Our Chateau Adventures chart the highs and lows of our journey to renovate and restore this crumbling chateau. We'll be learning a whole new set of skills and testing our resilience along the way as we take on the renovation of a lifetime to breathe new life into this historic building, while trying to balance all of that with the joys and challenges of parenthood and running our own well-being leadership business. You may recall that in the last episode, Nicole's sister Josephine had flown in from Sweden to help us with the DIY, and we've been braving camping in the chateau and showering alfresco.
So one thing that we try to ensure when we have friends or family giving up their holiday time to help us at the chateau is that we treat them to lots of delicious food. And this time we went to the Brocante restaurant at Nice, and it really never disappoints.
After a beautiful morning walking amongst the vines, Josephine and Nicole got to work pulling down the plaster from the walls of what will become a bed and breakfast guest suite, while I was busy doing some DIY in another part of the chateau.
One of the things that viewers have been asking for in the last couple of episodes is for us to give a bit of an overview of where it is that we're actually working in the chateau and what that space is going to become.
And that feedback has been fantastic, so we're incredibly grateful and just wanted to say a big thank you, first of all, to all of you for engaging so much.
Yeah, really, really helpful. And yeah, this stuff helps us because, I mean, this is literally the first time we're doing this, so massively appreciated. But yeah, so just to give you a bit of an overview, in those first few episodes we spent a lot of time focused over the east side of the chateau,
and this is where we are going to be living in the future
one day.
Yes. And this is where we took up the floor in the tower.
Yeah, and we took down the walls.
Yeah.
In that big, what has now become quite a big stone room, after we've taken down the plaster as well. And then we also, in the second episode, you may recall that we also spent some time in the entrance hall, which was divided up into lots of different rooms, including a bathroom, a toilet.
A small hallway, like a corridor. That they
made. And so we'd taken down one of those dividing walls, plus the bathroom. Again, the idea there is to make it into one grand entrance hall and kind of living space as well. In due course. And then in today's episode, we're over the other side of the chateau. So the idea is at some point we will give you a much better tour where we'll take you around to the rooms and explain a little bit more about what we plan. But just for the purposes for the moment, we thought this is hopefully enough to give you a bit of an idea of where we've been working and also what it is that we're hoping to do. So yeah, this episode really very much based on the east side, which is going to be really where the guest accommodation is going to be based. And actually, if we think about how the chateau, one of the reasons we bought this chateau and one of the reasons it appealed to us was the way that it was divided up.
Yeah, no, the space flows beautifully, and it's a great divide between what will be our personal space, and then there's the social space in the middle, and then on the west side we have all the guest suites, which will be, I think, a great solution for everyone, really.
Yeah. No, exactly. And yeah, we really love the flow of this place and how it worked. I think we were really keen to make sure there was a clear divide between kind of where we would be and also there where guests would be. And the guest area will be made up of kind of gîtes and also bed and breakfast is the idea, but also the capability to be able to run kind of seminars over a period of several days up to a week. Again, drawing on our experiences as leadership and well-being facilitators that we, is what we do as a day job when we're not doing DIY.
And what we'll share in future episodes as well is the architectural drawing, so you can see the full interior floor by floor and what it's going to look like, which we think will be very helpful as well.
Yes.
Up until that point, I'd been using the newly purchased jackhammer all for myself, so their progress, while good, was slower than they would have liked.
However, once Josephine did get her hands on the jackhammer, there was no stopping her. Nick, meanwhile, had the task of dismantling the furniture and ripping out the carpet from the adjacent guest suite. And we then headed to the nearby déchetterie, or tip in English, to dispose of everything. So we have quite a bit to get rid of this morning.
Yep.
But looking good.
The beautiful garden suite is no more.
As a bed is a keeper.
Tempting. As we had a skip at our disposal again, we were really keen to fill as much of it as we could. So we were back to filling buckets of plaster and rubble and carrying it all the way through the chateau to where the skip was positioned.
We had the most wonderful surprise at the end of the day. Nick, you heard some peeping from next door's garage.
There were some meows.
Yeah. And you went around to check, and there was a little kitten stuck on the roof and I couldn't get down. So you
Super cute.
heroically went to get a ladder and plucked the little thing down from the roof. And then all of a sudden, was it two more?
Just appeared out of nowhere.
To join the party, and then they followed us back to the chateau. And then they stayed with us the entire evening, didn't they?
Yeah, and then we had to kick them out.
Yeah, we didn't kick them out.
Well, we
had to put them out.
Gently placed them outside.
Yeah, because we didn't know if they were somebody's, and
well, we assumed that they were someone else's.
because they were in such good shape, and
but obviously we enjoyed befriending them a little bit.
absolutely, that was amazing. Such a cozy evening.
But it was such a surprise the next morning when I woke up and opened the shutters, and there they were. They hadn't gone anywhere. They'd just literally been nestled on your fleece.
Yeah, on my work clothes, yeah. Which was so sad. I felt so bad. We kept it simple with the food, didn't we?
We did, but I mean, we didn't really have much way of cooking things. But we bought a little kind of oveny thing so we could kind of grill the goat's cheese and the with the walnuts
figs.
and stuff. The figs, yeah, the figs
From
from
the
the garden, yeah, absolutely. And then we were kind of keeping it relatively simple with melon and prosciutto and
Oh,
things.
that's the best thing. I love that. And it was just the most magical dinner, and we were sitting there with bats flying over our heads. Yes, inside.
Yeah, they seem to be quite fascinated about, literally circling around our heads. Having taken all the furniture out of that beautifully decorated 1970s room, it was time to get started on the heavy duty stuff of taking down the plaster and the mortar. And so Nicole and Josephine set to work on that. So we let Josephine loose again with the sledgehammer, which made light work of the wall. It's, I think, breeze blocks.
Oh. Oh, wow.
Does it feel?
Oh, it feels good. My arms are tired. by now.
I can imagine.
I think this is it for you today.
Yeah, well, brocante this afternoon, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Success! What a great, but it would be fun to finish that off, but...
Just so that it wasn't all work and no play, one afternoon, you and Josephine.
We went to what is my favorite brocante in the area, in Lalande. I love that place. There's always something to find, always something to bring home.
And bring home you did.
Oh yes, I did.
Josephine had been such a huge help for the week that she was with us, and we couldn't let her go without saying a huge thank you. And we did that by taking her to Ici-Jacques on the Sunday via the market, which is in the summer phenomenal. It takes up pretty much every small street that exists inside the village.
Heaving with people.
Yeah, heaving with people, despite it still being kind of COVID restrictions in place.
And we went to one of my favorite restaurants called L'Atelier, which is absolutely wonderful. And they have a lovely courtyard outside, which is where we sat and enjoyed a really, really nice meal. Well deserved after so much hard work.
Yeah, and I always love their presentation. It's, yeah, you always feel very, very special when the amount of effort and that goes into kind of creating these beautiful dishes.
And the staff is wonderful. They're wonderful as well.
Yeah, so it doesn't just look good, it also tastes really, really good. The three of us managed to get the rest of the walls free from plaster and the debris cleared and thrown into the skip. The jackhammer again coming into its own and saving us so much time compared to the hammer and chisel we had been using. I'm still not sure why we didn't invest in one sooner.
Good job.
Yeah. The Chinese proverb, many hands light work, springs to mind, but we were soon to lose our extra pair of hands.
It was then time to say goodbye to Josephine, so we took her back to Bordeaux and she boarded a train to Paris, where she then flew to Stockholm from there.
And we made the most of being in Bordeaux to actually just go and have a bit of an adventure.
Yes, and we went to another beautiful restaurant. It feels like that's what we do. We're out and about, but the food is just divine.
Yeah, and we found what quickly became our favourite coffee shop in Bordeaux as well.
Also because they had my favourite oat milk, Oatly. Shout out to Oatly, Swedish brand.
Every
It's
time.
amazing. It's the best oat milk in the world.
Let me
What can
guess,
I
and
say?
IKEA is the best furniture maker in the world.
I can't comment on that.
And Volvo, the best car.
I say nothing.
With just a few days left before we had to head home, we wanted to try and get that guest suite done. And one of the last remaining tasks was to take down the ceiling, which was quite dirty. Every time you kind of pull down a piece of the ceiling panel, a whole load of dust and
You were
dirt
covered in it.
yeah.
My goodness, there was not a clean millimeter on you.
yeah, that was when I got very excited at the end of the day by the showers for the first time, even though they were freezing cold. I was like, let me at it, trying to get all the creepy crawlies off me. But the final result was really good. Super pleased with all the hard work that we put in over those couple of weeks with Josephine and us. And then we just had time to take off the plaster from one of the other rooms, which will be another guest suite in due course.
And we were really good because we kept cleaning up after ourselves as we did one project after the other. And it makes a huge difference because if you just take things down, rip things down, and then leave everything, it's completely demoralizing.
It's definitely not good for mental health and motivation, for sure. And then it was time for us to say goodbye to the skip, which we managed to overfill.
And I'm still in awe of how they get into that small entrance to pick everything up with those huge trucks.
Yeah, but kudos to the drivers, and again, kudos for having the skip, because as you say, it was helped us keep a tidy ship.
Exactly.
And get the work done.
Here.
What? Look who it is.
Going for walkies.